Slippers off. Block or cushion or something to sit on. Doesn't have to be a block, but obviously I've got abundance of these. A cushion, or sometimes when you feel really tired, just shuffle yourself back and have a bit of a support of the wall behind you. So whatever is happening, whatever is going on, our yoga practice is kind of this sanctuary, I think, where you can come onto your mat and whether it's good or bad or meh, it's kind of like, right, this is just time, just for me. Okay, so it's kind of like taking off that heavy bag and all the weights on your shoulders and kind of pushing it to one side. So some of the things that really help, obviously, for me, it's always that meditation at the beginning, but also just starting that with a few really deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So as many of those as you need to do, and then let your eyes close. Bring the awareness and the attention down into your foundation of your posture, so you feel grounded. And it's really useful to do this because whatever we're feeling, there's always time and a necessity to feel grounded. So we literally just feel that contact, and then from there, let the spine rise. Let the shoulders be relaxed, let your belly be relaxed. If you've been finding the practice of ocean breathing, Ujjayi breathing, through the meditation really useful over the last few weeks, then just start bringing that in. And just a reminder of how that feels. It's when you just gently restrict the flow of air through the throat, relaxing the mouth, and you're breathing through your nose. But it sort of lengthens and actually helps to strengthen the lungs as well. So it lengthens the breath, strengthens the lungs, and kind of helps, again, it's like that anchor to keep you grounded in the moment. Call the ocean breath because it creates that oceanic sound, that gentle kind of sibilant sound in the throat. So a little bit of philosophy that I'm going to weave into our meditation, but just allow yourself to, you don't have to concentrate too much, just let my words sort of wash over you and you absorb what is you're ready to absorb. We've been touching each week on the niyamas, okay, and we're on the fourth niyama, which is the second limb of yoga. And they're all about kind of observances for harmony and peace and how to live like a good life, fulfillment. And this fourth one, the word is svadhyaya, svadhyaya. And it's all, like all of them, there's various kind of meanings. Self-reflection, okay, discovering your true nature. and also sometimes translated to the study of sacred texts, which is actually what we do as we weave in our philosophy, which is how we do it. But really, for me, the big kind of thing that I take from this is awareness, and on lots of different levels. So to really get that discovery of your true nature, we need this awareness, and for our body, on a very gross level, not gross as in disgusting, obviously, gross as in the opposite of subtle. We need to be aware of what's happening in our body. Okay, and it's just as simple as that. So obviously it's through our postures and our sequencing and our way we move ourselves, we gain awareness of the body. The awareness of the breath, that's slightly more subtle. And again, that awareness of the breath allows us to kind of step into being able to look at our energies and what we need. And, even so much so as, if you feel quite anxious, there's a tightness in the chest. And with that awareness, I'm not suggesting that we can kind of banish all anxiety, because it's pretty crazy out there, life. But what we can do is go, okay, I'm aware that my breath is feeling a bit tight. I've got something that might help with this. And so you can take yourself and sit and just let the breath sort of calm itself, slowly, by manipulating it and gently shaping it. And then awareness of the self in terms of behaviors, habits, and patterns. And then once we're deeply self-aware, we can choose to keep those habits and patterns and behaviors, or we could let them go. So through the methodology of yoga, meditation, asana, pranayama, we have this wonderful methodology. So it's easy, kind of. I'm going to read from this brilliant book, which is, it's a kind of sort of, that down-to-earth guide to the Yoga Sutras. Moving inward, where awareness of the self enables us to know what is right and gives us surety as we navigate the complexities of human life. By learning to listen to the self, capital S, we clear the cobwebs of self-doubt and fear, hallmarks of our ego nature. And we open to the voice of the soul, and this ignites intuition. Intuition is our soul's messenger, an inner guide to the best answers for life's challenges. The voice of the intuition is distinctly different from the voice of the ego. It's humble, persistent, consistent call to goodness and to love. It is available to us all. We must first cultivate the ability to hear and heed it. For some, intuitive messages come as a combination of thinking and feeling, guiding them towards what is right. But others may have a more kinesthetic sensation, like a body feeling, that's centered at the region of the heart and lets us know that we're on the right track. To be sure, what we are having is the soul talking and not the ego. We start by noticing when our mind, heart, and our body coordinate in total awareness and all our senses are in harmony. When we feel no conflict within, no emotional triggers or agendas, just peace and security, then we are hearing the inner guide of wisdom. So, keeping this really kind of contained sort of meditative state, we're just going to move really simply into child's pose. And this is a great pose for when you feel like you need to kind of have that, like, oh, it's all a bit too much. It's almost like a little, what's it called? Hibernation. So that little hibernation for the self, just reaching forwards, letting the forehead rest down, and just breathing. And making that kind of dedication that this practice for today is just for yourself. And there's no, oh, I should do this bit, I should do that. There'll be options, and you must listen and, like, you've got to take heed and listen to that intuition. Use our awareness for good. So while we're in this pose, it's a great way to start to explore the space we have in our lungs. So breathe into the back of the lungs, all the way down into the lower back. Like you're expanding them and kind of just gently cracking open your shell into the side ribs, into the side of the body. Exhaling completely and really inhaling, and perhaps almost viscerally feeling this expansion through the back. Take a few more breaths. And then gently up onto the fingers, we're going to stretch the side body. So if we walk our hands over to the right, we'll feel that extra stretch down the left side. Breathe into the left lung. Slowly walk back through center. Let's take 2 or 3 breaths on the other side. Breathe into the right lung. And then back to center. Okay, come up onto all fours. And if you need to sort of stretch out your legs before this next thing, just, give them a bit of a shake. Oops, try not to kick the furniture. Give them a bit of a shake and a straighten. And then we're going to keep the hips lifted, so the hips are above the knees, and then slide the right arm all the way underneath you, palm facing up. And you come down on that right shoulder, head rest down, and you reach the left arm forward. So it's a sort of twisted child. Try and keep the hips sort of even, so they're not sort of swinging out to one side. The hips are even, you're getting this rotation through your center. Just also breathing in and acknowledging that stretch around the shoulders, around the shoulder blades. Relax your face. Let's change sides. So slowly come up and just let the left arm underneath, palm up. Right arm reaches forward. And then ease back out of that and come to either sit back on your heels kneeling if you're comfortable with your knees doing that. Or you can kind of do this sort of kneeling up, if your knees don't like this position. So just roll your shoulders initially, roll them round, big, exaggerated movements. A couple, 3 or 4 times one way and then the other way. And then take the arms up, interlace them, but kind of lock them like the fingers. Okay, and then with the right elbow, we bring that up as we drop the left elbow. Getting, again, that stretch for the side body. So you're just gently pulling on that right hand and stretching, opening up through the armpit. So you're drawing the elbow up and just gently back a little bit too. And then go straight to the other side. Left elbow lifts. Draw that right one down. Feel that opening through the left side. Okay, preparing us for Gomukhasana. So just circle the wrists. Okay, and this is the one where we take the right arm up, the palm faces back, left arm out, palm faces back, and then you're bringing the hands towards one another. They might not meet, so you can hold on to your top, or if you've got a yoga belt, obviously that's, or a dressing gown cord, something like that. But we're working towards bringing the hands towards one another. Okay, drop your tailbone a little. Contain. So if you're sticking your belly out, your ribs out, draw the front ribs towards the back ribs. Gently let the hands, or let go of your t-shirt or whatever you're holding on to, circle them round. And then we'll go for the other side. So left arm up, palm faces back, right arm out, and again, rotate it so the palm faces back and then bring them towards one another. So if you're a righty, if you're right-handed, this is generally the slightly tighter side, the one with the left up, all these muscles around the right shoulder get a little bit tighter. Just aware of these imbalances because we're human. Good. Keep breathing. Front ribs draw in. And then gently release. Okay. So we're going to go for a twist. And I want us to just move our legs out the way, kick both legs out the way to the right. And it's not a twist where the spine stays straight. We're going to sort of bring the hands to the floor, the right hips lifted. The tailbone is just gently lengthening so we're not overarching in our back. And then, but we can really quite strongly come into this twist as we walk the hands round. Walk them slowly around, turn the rib cage. So you feel that kind of wringing out action. Stay for another breath. And sometimes the breath restricts a bit, doesn't it, when we're rotating, but you have to kind of really focus and draw the breath in. Empty it, you turn even further into it. Come back, just switch the legs, we're turning away from the legs and the feet, hands come to the floor, we walk around the other way. Encouraging the twists, encourage the compression of the internal organs. And then as you release from the twist, stay in it for a breath or two longer, you get this fresh flow through of blood and fluid through the kind of like washing them, rinsing them out, encouraging movement. And then ease your way back. Ooh, nice. Right, so again, if you're okay with the knees kneeling, then stay kneeling back. We can do this kneeling up again, so it's entirely up to you. I'm going to do it kneeling up, but if you want to just do this version with the kneeling down, that's entirely, you've got to think about your knees. So the kneeling up version is inhaling, reaching the arms up, right at the top of the inhale, the palms come together, and then you start to breathe out, and you come all the way down, hands reach back, hands reach back to your feet, forehead comes down, And then you rise. And then exhale as you lower back down. So although a simple movement, you've got the spine kind of getting a bit of movement here. And because the movement is fairly slow, there's control that's needed. Inhale up. Let the eyes close. Exhale down. One more. Wherever you are, you'll just do one more. And then come all the way down. The hands come forwards and we come to cat. So we're always learning and always honing our awareness, even in postures that we've done 6 billion times. Okay, so fresh eyes, spread the hands, feel the mat or the carpet or whatever you've got underneath your hands. Feel the contact, feel the weight spread through the fingers. Okay, a controlled sequence, but a simple one. In cat, we breathe in. Tuck your toes under, and as you breathe out, you move into dog. As you breathe in next, slowly come down to cat. And then breathe out, simply move back to child. And repeat, inhale into cat. Exhale dog. Inhale cat. And exhale child. Keep going, let your eyes close. Inhale cat, exhale dog, inhale cat, exhale child. So move at the pace of your breath. You're breathing in whenever you're moving into cat. If you remember that, then everything else just falls into place. Do one more. Cat, dog, cat, child. And then rest in child. I love the simplicity of those sequences which are led breath movement. They are, as one of my teachers said to me, they are neurosis decimators. They just bring you right back to yourself, to your breath. Breath and movement helps calm the turnings of the mind. So let's move up back through all fours. Now just a little challenge as we bend our elbows in towards the side body. We'll slowly come down to the floor. See how slowly you can do it. Might be little bit where we have to speed up. Okay, crocodile, the hands come underneath the forehead and just rock your hips side to side. And it's kind of nice to shuffle the legs sort of a bit longer. Okay, and then just bend the knees and do that windscreen wipery thing. Circle the feet round. Just checking in with this movement. And then lengthen your tailbone. So that's kind of gently encouraging that posterior tilt to the pelvis and engagement through the core as we come up. Palms face down, arms, forearms pressing themselves in. And also, one of the things that's, it's a really subtle movement, but it's really good. So, okay, 3 things I want us to focus on. Press the forearms down. Draw the front ribs into the back ribs. That's it. So you're almost lifting your belly up. And then lift the spine up and out from between the shoulder blades, as if it's lifting up. Okay, it's a very different pose. The legs almost automatically anchor down. Lifting the chest up, spine rising. Much more challenging than the usual Sphinx, where we're not kind of quite so switched on. But we want to get the most benefit out of these poses. Okay, gently soften down, elbows out to the side and hands for that, make that pillow. And again, just hips, legs. And while we're doing this little back bending sequence or this back strengthening sequence, if you need at any point to just slowly come up into cat or into child, then do it. Because if you feel like you need it, it's because you need it. Okay, so let's come up to Sphinx again. Those 3 movements, forearms, okay, front ribs draw up. Inhale as you lift and lengthen up through the spine. Now we're going to keep this engagement through the core. Take the right arm and just bring it sort of diagonally in front of you. Okay, so it goes from there to there. Okay, and then bend the left leg, reach the left hand back to grab it. And then you're gently drawing it, heel in, but don't collapse on the right shoulder. Keep lifting up. Keep engaging the front ribs to draw back. As you just gently get that big stretch happening, probably feel it in your quad, to be honest. But what do I know? Possibility, you sort of turn the hand so that the palm is pressing on the tops of the toes and the little finger is little toe edge. Is that the little toe edge, yeah? Okay, then release. Before we go to the other side, just do all of those checks. And then we'll come back up, listening to the back. We need a good stretch in child then. Please slowly make your way there. Left arm comes across, okay? Front ribs drawing in, lifting up through the spine. Bend the right leg. Reach back. And just gently draw that heel down to the outer edge of the hip. Maybe spinning the hand so that the little toe is at the little finger side. Spin the hand, not the foot. Try not to collapse down into that left shoulder. Keep breathing. Great, and just let that leg gently go and come back. This sort of rocking of the hips just gently helps to kind of get any tension, sort of oscillating it all back, slowly rocking it. So it gives you a chance to feel if you need a bit more of a counter stretch. And this, again, just accentuates that with the legs going side to side. Right, locust, arms down by your side. And we're just going to lift up through the legs and the upper body. keep breathing. And while we're here with the legs up, just sort of point and flex the feet a little bit. What we're trying to do is lift the thighs up, but keep that real integrity in the back, okay? This is so good for strengthening the back, this posture. You can probably feel that, because it just switches on all those chains at the back of the body, okay? But you're not going into a deeper back bend than you can, because it's just the muscles that are holding you up. When you need a rest, take a rest. Turn the head to the side. And we'll come up. We'll do it again. On an inhale. And then if you feel like it feels good, you can bend the knees. And you're not grabbing the feet. Maybe you might touch the ankles, maybe. But we're just lifting up the legs, the chest, reaching back for the feet. Keep the knees hip width, keep breathing. When you need to, gently lower back down, turn the head to the other side. Let the cheek rest. And again, those little movements will help us recover. And in fact, for me, I feel like I might need just to slowly come back up. Firstly with a flat spine, and then slowly sink back down to get a really nice counter stretch. Stretch, reach the arms forwards. We want to stay balanced, not overwhelm the body. So round the spine strongly as you come up. And then again, as we lower, bend the elbows. And come down. Okay, arms down by your sides. So you've got some choices here, just locust. And if your main aim is for strengthening your back, then just come into this. It's just such a brilliant pose. If you want a little bit more, just a little bit of a different posture, you can bend the knees, catch hold of the fronts of the feet and come to the bow. That takes you into a slightly deeper. But I kind of think that sometimes the binding kind of does sometimes switch off the muscles. Because if you let go of your feet, you have to work harder. Which arguably, if you're strengthening, maybe that's a really good thing. Rest down when you need to. Turn your head whichever side you want. And then we slowly, again, come up. Okay, make your way all the way up into all fours. Just tuck my belly back in. And then from this all fours position, just move your hips a little side to side. I think we were doing it last week when we were not only going side to side, but also getting that rounding of the spine and that lengthening of the front body with the side to side movement. So we'll take a few circles going this way round. And then we'll go back the other way. Change direction. Okay, now we tuck the toes under and we move into our downward facing dog. Let the head have a little shake. Spread the weight through the hands evenly. You like that kind of walking or
It's also working the feet quite strongly, this one heel up, one heel down, because the heel that you've got lifted, you're already pressing into the toes, so you're opening up the back of the toe joints. And the one that you've got pressing down, obviously you can feel that stretch probably to the back of the leg. So do a couple of those. And then we're going to take the right leg up. We're not lifting it, don't lift the hip, just take it up. And then see if you can really slowly bring it out to the side, knee starts to bend, you're looking forward, and then you're going to place, with control, this right foot on the outside of the right hand. It might even be off the mat, okay? So it's a slight sort of wider lunge. Push the straight leg, the back leg, push that heel back. Then the right arm reaches forwards as far as it can possibly go. And then we're slowly going to come into this. It's like you're moving your arm like a sort of slow motion lasso, and the chest opens as you're reaching this arm back. And then you come slowly reaching the arm forwards. So circle the arm round, we'll do 3 or 4 more. Strong back leg. And then the hand's going to come down and we step back. Okay, if you need to come down onto your knees and just sort of circle the wrists. Hair up my face. And then we're going to come back and go for the left leg. So that left leg reaches up and back. And then slow motion, bend the knee, bring it out to the side, place it on the outside of the left hand. Okay, firm that back leg, drop the hips a little bit, and then we reach the left arm forwards and slowly take the arm all the way round. Reach. Relax your face though, let the chest sort of peel open. Probably starting to build a little bit of warmth, which is good. Gets everything moving and flowing and freeing up, but also strengthening and stabilizing. Lost count. We'll do about 5. Hand down. Ease your way back. And then again, just for the sake of our wrists, and also just to let the blood kind of rebalance itself. Circle, wiggle. Quite like to do a twisted dog here. So coming into the regular kind of balanced dog, and we take the right hand and reach it back for the back of the left leg. Come around the outside. Let this right shoulder drop, but you've got quite a lot of strength going up through the left side. Try not to swing your hips or sway your hips out to the side, but you're just gently getting a little bit of turn, a little bit of rotation. So it would look going forwards like this. And then when you're done with that side, just simply change, get sort of balanced before you change. And then it's the left hand reaches back for the opposite leg, around the outside of that right leg. Drop the left shoulder, try and even up the hips and get the twist happening through your torso. Relax your face, your jaw. And again, come back down onto your knees. Just let everything
come back to balance. Circle the wrists if you need to, and wiggle the fingers. It's great, just so good to weight bear for our bones. Okay, so into our flowing sequence. And the flowing sequence is going to begin with a drop back. So if you don't want to take that leg all the way over and drop it back, then just stay in dog, or rejoin us when we bring the leg forwards. If you're feeling ready for a drop back, we're kind of pretty warmed through the spine, so we should be all right if you want to do it. So we come into our downward facing dog, really planting the left leg, the right leg lifts up, and let's just take a moment lifting that hip, lifting that knee if it feels good. So you're either just staying like this, joining in when that right foot comes forward, or if you want to do the drop back, you rotate your standing foot so the toes slowly are going to face the back of the mat, and the right arm reaches up, lifts up from the floor, lift the hips. Breathe. Feel that front body opening, all those muscles supporting this movement as you lift your hips and lift your heart. Then the hand comes back down as that left foot pivots back to place, and we're going to the second warrior. Right foot forwards, back heel down, and all the way up. Ooh, palms face up for this warrior. So get that chest lifting. Backhand, left hand, up and all the way over, palm to palm with that front hand. Really reach, and then slowly, slowly draw back through the body, that you're drawing back your bow. Okay, twice more. Palm to palm. It's quite a reach. Brilliant. And then all the way down. We're going to do that on the other side. Step that front leg back. So now drop back on the other side. So if you're not going to do the drop back, it doesn't feel right today, just stay with that left leg lifted or in dog. For the drop back, we rotate the toes of the standing foot. Left hand lifts, and we lift up through the front body. Breathe, relax your face. So when this left hand comes down, everything else follows it, as well as the leg coming all the way through for warrior two. Ground the back foot and come up. Let's have our warrior two with the palms facing up. Strong through the legs. The back hand, which is the right hand, up and over. Reach it palm to palm. And then slowly all the way draw it through the body. Twice more. Okay, all the way down. Back to dog. And take your rest pose. Could be downward facing dog. Could be child's pose for a couple of breaths. Could just be cat to ease up the wrist a little bit. Whatever you need. We're going to do that sequence again after. Just going to get my email screen to bugger off. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Does anyone else have that? And their email screen just interrupts everything and pings and anyway. Okay, so we'll go for it again. So if you're not doing the drop back, you just stay in dog, or you're lifting the right leg. And if you're ready to go for that drop back, go for it. With control. Enjoy that opening to the front body. Both of the toes pointing to the back of the mat. Just safer for the knees that way.
And then we're heading to Warrior Two. So slowly, with control, all the way up, palms up, backhand, all the way over, palm to palm. Really reach and then draw slowly back. 3 in all. Fabulous. All the way down. Left side. Choosing the option that's right for you. Drop back is a possibility. It might just be that. Might not be a reality, which is fine. And the hand comes down. Warrior Two. I think it's lovely to repeat the sequence because then the body's going, oh, yeah, I know what we're doing. Right hand all the way over, palm to palm. Draw back. Oops. Twice more. And then down. This time, let's come to our knees. So you've got a choice. Child's pose. For me, sometimes when I'm hot and I'm kind of flowing in the practice, I don't want to do child's pose. So the other option, which I quite like, is just having a moment, kneeling, if you're comfortable kneeling, palms up. And it's really great to kind of take stock, as it were, and just be aware of what's happening in your body through this practice. How does it feel? Let the breath come back to balance if it does, in fact, feel a little bit out. One more little standing sequence. And again, we're going to start in dog. This time, right leg lifts, but we don't lift up the hip because we're heading to a closed hip pose, Warrior One. So take the right leg up and back. Hit my furniture again. Reach the right leg up and back. Then look forward and simply place that right foot between the hands. Come up. Back heel lifted, hips facing forwards. Okay, Kesapana Asana Mudra with the hands. Okay, 3 fingers together, then the first finger pointing forwards, and then the thumbs like that. Okay? Inhale, slowly reach those first index fingers all the way up, and then bend the elbows and you're pointing the fingers to the floor. Inhale up, keep the hands like this as you then reach all the way forwards. Maybe you bring your fingertips all the way to the floor and then slowly back up. Feel that you're sucking the muscles around the legs into the bones. Lift up, bend the elbows. Inhale up and extend forwards and down. We'll do one more, all the way up. Release the hands and take the leg back. It's quite strong for that hip, so just give the hips a little bit of a wiggle side to side. And the head likes that too. Left leg, reach it up and back. Step it forwards. Come up. Kesapana Mudra. 3 fingers, pointy finger. It's also the James Bond mudra. Can't take it all too seriously though, can we? Reach up and then bend the elbows, point the fingers down. Inhale up, reach it forwards and down. Keep going. We'll do 2 more. Keep the breath full and steady. Hands down. So whichever rest pose you wish, take a pause. Let the palms rest up, whichever pose you take. Okay, let's slide the hands forwards. Again, with real control, shift the knees in so the inner knees touch. Okay, we're going to keep this right leg bent, foot flexed. Take the leg up and back. Chest gently comes forwards. And then as we breathe out, contract, knee towards forehead, round spine. Keep going. Do a few more. We're not throwing the leg back or hurling it forwards, but it's real control as you're moving. So it doesn't have to be a massive movement. Gaining strength. Change, just go straight to the other side. Left leg up, foot stays flexed. Knee towards the forehead. I'm not expecting it to touch. Why doesn't? And then down. We've done a lot on our hands, so let's come back to our forearms. And tuck the toes under and come into forearm dog. Keep the forearms like train tracks, okay, so they're parallel. And lift the, much like in dog, kind of lifting the sitting bones up and back, broadening through the sort of shoulders so you don't feel that they're scrunching, you feel that there's space for the head to move a little bit side to side. So this is pretty challenging, okay, lots going on. As and when you need to, just gently bring the knees back down and rest, okay? And then what I want us to possibly do, if it feels right, is come back into our forearm dog and take the right leg up and hold it for up to 5 breaths. Five breaths might mean 2 breaths, by the way. So 5-ish. And then when you've done one side, obviously we need to do the other. And then gently come down, back onto those knees, kneeling up or kneeling back. Been upside down for a while, and it's quite challenging for the shoulders, so roll the shoulders round. And maybe the neck. Just a few little turns. Roll the shoulders forwards. Come down.
lying face down. All the hard work is done. Okay. We've got enough room. Right, left arm, and not right by your side body, just a little way away, because you're going to roll onto your left side in a moment. So it needs to have a bit of space. Then bend the right leg. So we're going to roll onto the left side, the right leg's going to stay bent. So as we roll, we see if we can bind that right foot to the left hand. Let the head rest on the side of the face. And then when you're ready to let go, again, we don't let it ping. Just that controlled movement of bringing that leg back down. Then right arm down, just a little way from the body. Left leg bends. Roll onto your right side and see if you can take hold of the left foot with that right hand. Again, let the face rest. Nice passive stretch. Then release out. And roll onto your back. I'm just going to go this way around. Roll onto your back, squeeze your knees up. Squeeze your knees in. Lovely rock for the lower back. So let the legs roll round. Nice little therapeutic end. So heading into relaxation in a moment, make sure that you're going to be warm enough. So have to, grab yourself something if you think you're going to get cold. And it's really nice if you can to block the light out. Have something over your eyes. So I'm not suggesting that you've got eye pillows necessarily, but even the sleeve of a jumper or a scarf or a sock, as long as they're not too smelly, just place that over your eyes. So just coming into that pose of Shavasana. So important. This honouring of rest. And particularly, this rest at the end of class, at the end of your practice, just letting the body absorb all that it has done. Letting the breath really be that kind of anchor to keep you present. You feel the movement of the breath with a relaxed stomach, with a soft jaw, breathing in and out through the nose, as long as you're not bummed out. And as we rest the body, we let the awareness rest with it. Instead of being sort of hijacked by thought, we let the awareness rest in the body. So
So become aware of your feet. Bring the awareness into the feet, into the toes, into the soles of the feet, tops of the feet, heels. All the mental attention is down in the feet. And this is where it's a little bit magic, because even just that bringing of the attention down into the feet just helps them to let go and soften and relax. If there's any discomfort in the feet, you acknowledge that. Accept that's where they are right now. Let them rest. So all the muscles can rest, and there's that sort of acceptance and letting go and that softness with the awareness. And then we move that same feeling up into the ankles and the calves. Into the knees, the knee joints. The thigh bones, the thigh muscles. The pelvis, hips. Pelvic organs and your digestion. So as you're breathing deeply, letting the belly expand on your in-breath, gently massages your digestion. Maybe you can hear your digestion. And bring the awareness to the rib cage, which houses those and protects those precious organs, those precious vital organs. So let the rib cage rest. Feeling the lungs expand and contract. Awareness now in your chest. Let the shoulders relax. And the arms. Taking in the elbow joints, the forearms, the wrists, the hands, and the fingers. And just notice if you're spreading your awareness evenly through left and right side. And sometimes we have dominant sides, and even with the brain, it means that you're resting your arms, but they're always in one side or always in the other side. Just see if you can spread it evenly. Move into the head. Relax your tongue and your jaw and your mouth and your lips. The bridge of the nose, the temples, the eyes, all the muscles in the eye sockets, forehead. And bring your attention, your awareness to midpoint in the brow. So this area is also known as your intuition center or your third eye. So perhaps even visualizing this wisdom center, this eye opening, kind of tuning your intuition, opening this channel of wisdom so you can take heed. If you like to visualize it as color, I often use the color indigo for this area. So maybe it feels like the indigo light pouring in through this third eye, wisdom center, intuition, flooding you. And knowing and kind of keeping this as awareness, this is where the intuition center is. It always will be there. So sometimes we need it more than ever off the mat, not just on relying, resting. It's about kind of getting to know these areas, waking them up, shifting the energy. So it can make us feel a little bit lofty. So before you move any other parts of your body, just bring your hands and rest them on your belly, on your body. Bring you back down. Notice the breath. Notice the body on the earth or the floor, mat. And then very slowly, you bring back movement. And when you're ready, you come to sit. So we can seal the practice together. Good. Good. Okay. Namaste. Shanti. Shanti. Shanti.